Back with us, Texas Congresswoman Beth Van Duyne. It's always great to have the Congresswoman on as well. You're in House Transportation and Infrastructure. So it looks like the president's push to raise taxes on the upper bracket and companies looks like it's dead in the water, because doing that will hurt the already fragile economic recovery. Is that true?
Well, of course it will. I mean, this is something that we've been talking about now for months since they came down with these policies. What you're seeing from the left policies from the Democrats, who's basically the ones who are controlling the policy discussion, is all about empowering Democrats and bureaucrats in Washington, but completely disempowering normal Americans. It's about social engineering every aspect of our life from their East and Coast perspectives.
Congresswoman, I'm so sorry I asked the question incorrectly. I meant to say, is it true that the taxes go nowhere?
I would hope so. I would hope so, because what we're seeing now is either the increase in the corporate tax rate that they had claimed from 21 to 28%, which is what they were asking for, is going to kill working families. It will kill small businesses. And I have asked on my small business committee to find out what the effects, what the consequences are going to be on these small businesses. And the fact is that even the small business administrator couldn't answer those questions. So yes, what we're seeing is rising inflation at a time when we're trying to open back up, get over the devastation of this pandemic. Raising corporate taxes at this point in time would devastate small businesses, would devastate working families. And yes, obviously that was going to happen. And again, I think Republicans have been talking about this for months. So I'm glad that is now, they're now listening.
Should we be putting a pin in the calendar for July 19th? That's when we're hearing congressional Democrats are moving to put, the infrastructure package into the Senate. But we've got progressive far left saying we still want more for climate change. We want things like amnesty for illegal aliens. And then we've got Mitch McConnell saying, wait a second, we're not going to go for this because you guys are trying to drastically change how the country is run. So what ballpark this? What's your assessment of what's going to happen?
Well, I mean, the fact is that the policies that we've seen, the bill that we've seen, is not about infrastructure at all. You don't have an infrastructure bill that forbids new roads from being built. Over 50 cents of every dollar that's being spent is being spent on Green New Deal programs. It will increase the number of regulations. It's going to increase costs. It's going to increase time of bringing any of these things forward. And it's completely out of touch with the infrastructure needs of this country. Rising inflation costs, rising corporate taxes. And the problem right now that we've got with the bill, and I'm glad that the Senate has come together in a bipartisan manner and saying that they're going to actually pass a bill. But the problem is we still have no way to pay for it. So the devil will be in the details, and we're going to wait to see what's in the bill and how it's going to be paid for. But that's lacking.
Okay,
right now.
Final word on this. Final word on this on your fellow Texas Republican, Chip Roy. He was essentially reportedly saying that the Republican goal is to completely push back on the Biden agenda until after the midterm elections. Is that the game plan?
Well, I mean, look, I think what we're all doing is trying to vote for our districts, vote for our state, vote for our country. And when we see these devastating policies come down from the administration that don't take into account at all what's happening in reality, what's happening to small businesses, what's happening to working families, obviously we're going to push back. I think that's what people elected us to do, and we're going to continue doing it. If we can get bipartisan policies, if we can be at the table and actually discuss, policies that are going to open up our economy. But right now, we're not having those policies. We're having they're being stuffed out at the last minute, no way to pay for it, taking out, disempowering Americans, and you're going to see they're sick enough for them.
Got it. Congresswoman Beth Van Duyne, thanks for joining us.